Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your service. Today he's sporting the rather lovely Douglas tartan. A lot of green, a lot of blue, but very nice, you know. A very conventional sort of tartan, I think. It's not too outrageous, not too overstated. Just great. Anyway folks, last week I did a score review for Rambo First Blood Part 2, and it was because I was trying to use it as a hangover cure. One of Kilt-Man's many hangover cures, because it's rousing, exciting and thrilling. And I now find myself in a very similar situation, because even though, yet again, he promised Mrs. Kilt-Man that he wouldn't do it, he only went and did it again last night, and that'll be 2 nights on the trot that I went out and got rather sozzled. Hey, it's Kilt-Man, and he has wild times, adventurous, and on the way back home, because I did come back home eventually, I was on the train and I text Mrs. Kilt-Man and say, "Don't worry, hon, I'm on the way back. I'm on the way back now, so put the kettle on, you know, don't worry, don't despair. I'm on the way back home." That's important. And I've got the train, I have about a mile to go, all uphill to get to Kilt-Man's mansion. And I ran. I thought, no, I'm going to run. It was cold. It actually snowed yesterday. It snowed yesterday, but Kilt-Man was just in a vest and kilt. And I ran uphill all the way to home. Except on the way home, my path takes me past the Telegraph pub, which just happens to be Kilt-Man's favourite pub. So instead of running straight home, he ran straight in to the Telegraph pub and drank more whiskey until closing time. Yes, Kilt-Man is a man of, if nothing, he's a man of his word. If that word means staying out and getting pissed all the time. But on that run, that epic, wintry run uphill, I was playing some music on my earphones, and it was from the film Busting, 1974. It's a vice cop buddy drama set in LA. 2 vice cops, Elliot Gould and Robert Blake, have sworn to take down the Mr. Big, which is Rizzo, played by Alan Garfield. And this guy's into everything, you know, prostitution, drugs, racketeering, you know, you name it. And they swear to take him down. But of course, as is always the case, this guy's got connections in City Hall, and they discover corruption, actually in the police department as well. So their hands are kind of tied, but they do everything they can to try and take this guy down. And the film was directed by Peter Hyams. It's his directorial debut. This guy would go on to do Outland as well, the great Outland with Sean Connery, and Sudden Death with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and even The Relic, the great monster movie with Penelope Ann Miller and Tom Sizemore. The Relic, oh, awesome movie. I will cover that at some point. But there's 2 epic chase sequences in this movie. One on foot and one in ambulances. Yes, you heard that right, in ambulances at the very end. And the guy who scored the movie is Billy Goldenberg. Is it Billy Goldenberg? I always get this guy's name wrong. Billy Goldenberg, yeah. Now, he actually made a name for himself by, he scored Deliverance. Duel for Steven Spielberg. Deliverance. What am I thinking of? And Spielberg's directorial debut again. TV movie, Dennis Weaver, and he's in the car, traced by the truck, the demonic truck. And Billy Goldenberg came up with this fantastically suspenseful and really weird, twisted, dark and jarring score. For Busting, I mean, you can hear it, obviously it's of its time, you know, so it's funky. There's a bit of like Lalo Schifrin from Dirty Harry elements to it, bit of Starsky and Hutch as well in there. It's 70s funk, disco, bit of lounge, bit of jazz, but those 2 epic chase sequences both have the same action cue, and it is an absolute corker. So I'm running home last night, and I was playing this, and I was weaving across the road, I was running up, and I was leaping over park benches and stuff, vaulting over people's garden walls. God help me if anyone actually saw any of this chaos hurtling past their house. Was that? I just seen a man in a kilt running down our wall. Yes, folks, that would be me. Anyway, so I want to set the scene now, because this cue I'm going to play for you is absolutely amazing. As I say, you hear it twice. First time, The two vice cops, Elliot Gould and Robert Blake, are in an apartment block, and a drug deal is taking place in a different room. They find the evidence, and then they go to bust these guys doing the drug deal. But as they open the door to this apartment, the guys suss on, 3 of them, and start shooting at him. Thus begins a tremendous, energetic, exhilarating foot chase, which takes them down the many staircases in this apartment block, out onto the street, along the street, straight into a huge, all night long supermarket, which is packed with hundreds and hundreds of people. And these 3 drug dealers hurtling through all these aisles, knocking people over, running into big piles of cans, and the 2 cops are chasing after them. A gunfight ensues, and in one shocking sequence, just at the end of this action cue, a poor innocent woman takes a bullet, and she's a worker at some kind of all-night deli, and she takes a slug in the chest. And to be honest, it's one of the most horrific innocent bystander death scenes that I've ever encountered. It's her reaction to it is so horrible. Takes the slug and she screams, a shudder, shock, fear, pain, terror, and she cuts her chest and she goes down. And then the next time you see it, because the cops are creeping through in a really suspenseful long sequence, the 2 cops actually track down one of the gunmen here and take him out as well. The other 2 escape, but it's an amazing sequence. But you see this poor woman, and she's being tended to by some other, bystanders, but she's clearly dead, and it's just horrible and heartbreaking at the same time. But Hyams directs this sequence with such amazing agility. Camera work is phenomenal. Lots of long take shots. The choreography for the chase down the spiral staircase, because the camera leans out as you're watching the 3 men running down, then the 2 cops running down, and they're shooting up, they're shooting down. Ricochets and bullets are going off the banisters in one take. It's so cleverly constructed. The guys run, the camera is running, and you're seeing them running towards you. They will run past the camera, and the camera pivots round, so you then see the backs of them, and follows them. It's so cleverly done. I urge you all, this was a film that used to be on TV a lot. I used to tape it off TV, the days of video recorders, and I used to play these 2 action scenes over and over and over again because I enjoyed the action scenes and because I love the music to it. Let's play it. Let's play it. And this is called The Chase. I'm going to turn it up, but you guys, listen to this. You've got drums, you've got synth, you've got an organ, you've got bongos. It's just so clever, right? That synth voice there just bends the tone. Tambourines. I was running last night. They're on the street now, they've got out onto the street. Elliot Gould and Robert Blake are shooting as they're running. Run into this massive supermarket, and it's just dizzying array of people. The camera follows them through, going at top speed. They're ducking and weaving down the aisles, hundreds of people getting in the way. This echoplex. Runs into a big tower of cans. This is where the poor lady gets the bullet. But what a crazy, slam bang, relentless cue that is. It's riveting with suspense. So many musical instruments are in there. There's electric guitar, there's all sorts, there's orchestral elements, there's lots of funk to it, but you've got this pitch bending synth, which is just glorious. This sequence now, this is in the supermarket still. Poor woman's been shot. The two cops are now creeping down the aisles. Everyone's taking shelter. It's a huge sequence, and it's a big location that they're using. And they're creeping down. Bullets are winging off. Tries to duck in time. Elliot Gould will take one of these guys down though, and it's a fabulous moment. He goes down one aisle, and I think the guy sees him. He ducks down and goes another way. The guy turns around, and Elliot Gould just comes up and goes, yada yada yada, bang 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 bang, peppers every bullet, flies back, blood everywhere, proper 70s blood squibs, big splashy gore. Listen to this. Cello, just being plucked. That was the yada yada yada. Sadly, the other two get a hostage, put a gun to her head, and drag her out. So the poor cops are just left waiting. Then they release the woman and they run into another building. And in another big suspenseful sequence, they will run into this building, the cops, and in the darkness they're going to shoot another one, but they're going to leave one guy alive who the corrupt coppers managed to let go. This other guy is Rizzo's main henchman. You see him in a lot of different sort of disguises throughout the movie. Rizzo also has the great Sid Haig. Do you remember Sid Haig? He's in a lot of movies, a lot of horror exploitation movies, but in the 70s he was always in the likes of Kojak and Starsky and Hutch and TV crime dramas, because he was big, bald-headed, often with a goatee beard, but he looked intimidating and very, very, scary, and he was always some kind of thug or enforcer. And he does a lot of comedy roles now, which is a bit weird because he just sends himself up, but he's one of the main bad guys in it as well, and he's frightening. There's a horrible sequence where the two cops get lured into a trap and beaten to a pulp. And they both get done in really bad style. But come the end, they will chase Rizzo. Rizzo's been to hospital because they've harassed him to the point where he's had a heart attack. But even in hospital, he's doing drug deals in there. And they sort out, the two cops find the drugs in potted plants which are being taken into him. And you guessed it, another foot chase begins. Rizzo in his hospital gown and his two henchmen flee in the elevator, flee through the hospital. The two cops are hailing after them. They actually even fall down the stairs together because they're going that fast. They both tumble into each other, and a jumble of legs and arms, and the two of them go cascading down the stairs. But they catch up with them. The bad guys get into one of those weird little American ambulances. They look really strange. They're just like a limousine, They're kind of strange looking things. Not the big boxy ambulance things. Look like a truck. These are like cars. Very funky looking things. And they take off, but our two heroes get in another ambulance and chase after them. And it's like the foot chase from earlier on. It's an amazingly well done, well choreographed and brilliantly filmed chase sequence. People are diving off the way. They're flying through corrugated iron fences. They're leaping over hills, and it's just, they're smacking into each other and they're shooting out the windows. It's just tremendous. But it ends on a very negative note because when they finally capture Rizzo at the end, he just says, okay, so you got me, but what the hell do you think you got? But a few drugs, I'll do a bit of time, I make more. Hang on. I make more in a day, than you guys make in a year. Even on the inside, I'm going to be making money, while you two are just out writing tickets, So even though they've got the gun on him and you think, just shoot him, just shoot the motherfucker. But they don't. And obviously, then the credits roll, and you hear in this very forlorn, sort of bleak, nihilistic ending, but very in keeping with the 70s, you just hear that Elliot Gould's character is obviously looking for another job, looking for employment elsewhere. And they say, what was your last job? Detective, LA Police Department. So he's given up, and he's going to take anything. He'll be a fucking dustman, you know. He'll be a janitor. He'll do anything because he can't stand the bureaucracy, the red tape, and the shit that they have to go through, you know. I'm going to play, even though it's exactly the same cue, but it's so damn good. This is called Nailing Rizzo. This is the ambulance chase. But it's worth repeating. Folks, you've got to catch this movie. It is out on Blu-ray now in the States, but I think it's Twilight Time or Kino Lorber, who do very limited runs. And this soundtrack, was limited as well to 1,000 copies, and that was a few years ago. I don't know if it's still around. The record label there, Cryptoland, released it, and it's fabulous release. All the different elements to it. There's a sax and trumpet in there as well. Piano. In the background, I bet someone's got spoons and they're playing spoons. I love that echoplex. Glorious. There's so many different elements to this, so many different colours. Cars crash at the end. They shoot Sid Haig, and Rizzo tries to make a run for it in his hospital car. And he goes, Rizzo! We got you, fat bag of shit, Rizzo! Rizzo just sits down and goes like, hey, you ain't got shit, buddy. That is awesome, that. I absolutely adore that movie and adore that soundtrack. So folks, that was not so much a hangover cure, that was more like a drunken rampage, because that's exactly what happened last night. So, we're going to get back on track with some proper reviews. I'm going to wind up this fantasy film series, which I've been doing for a while now, with some more stuff this weekend. So please, tune back in. And in the meantime, stay safe. Keep it cool, keep it real, keep it Celtic and kilted. And I'm going to see y'all later. Rizzo!